Have you ever wondered how endless browsing on social media impacts your mind? It seems like a simple enough question, but the answer might be more complex than you think. We live in a digital age where scrolling has become as habitual as breathing. It's a phenomenon we call the infinite scroll. Every day millions of us mindlessly swipe our screens, consuming a never-ending stream of content. This endless browsing isn't just a way to kill time, it's become a cornerstone of our daily lives. But have you ever stopped to question why? Why we feel compelled to keep scrolling, even when we know there's no end in sight? This video aims to delve into the fascinating world of the infinite scroll, exploring the psychological effects of this seemingly harmless habit. The purpose isn't to vilify social media or technology. Instead, we want to shed light on the impact it has on our minds. As we delve deeper into this topic, prepare to discover the fascinating and somewhat alarming effects of endless browsing. To understand the impact, first, we need to comprehend the power of the scroll. Picture this. You're casually scrolling through your favorite social media platform. 1 minute turns into 10, 10 into 20, and before you know it, an hour has passed. This isn't an accident, it's a design. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive, using techniques that keep us scrolling, tapping, and swiping. They're like digital slot machines, each scroll a pull of the lever, each new post a potential jackpot. These techniques are not just about keeping us engaged, they're about keeping us coming back for more. Researchers have found that these techniques trigger dopamine releases in our brains, creating a reward cycle. Dopamine, often referred to as the feel-good hormone, is responsible for feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. It's the same chemical that's released when we eat our favorite food, listen to a song we love, or receive a compliment. When we scroll through social media, each new post is a potential reward, a potential dopamine hit. And just like a gambler at a slot machine, we keep scrolling, hoping for that next big payoff. This is what tech companies want. The more we scroll, the more time we spend on their platforms, the more data they can collect, and the more ads they can serve. But there's a dark side to this dopamine-driven reward cycle. Over time, our brains start to crave these dopamine hits. We find ourselves reaching for our phones, opening social media apps, scrolling without even thinking about it. It's not just a habit, it's an addiction, and it's not just adults who are affected. Increasingly, children and teenagers are falling into this scroll hole, their developing brains particularly susceptible to these addictive design techniques. The impact on their mental health, their social skills, their ability to focus is yet to be fully understood. The power of the scroll isn't just in its design, but in the way it manipulates our brain's reward system. This is the power of the scroll, a power that tech companies wield with alarming effectiveness. Now that we understand the power of the scroll, let's discuss its psychological impact. Endless browsing, or as we've been calling it, the scroll hole, is not just a time sink. It can also have serious psychological repercussions. Research has consistently shown that spending too much time scrolling can lead to increased stress levels. It's like being on a treadmill that never stops, always moving, but going nowhere. This constant bombardment of information can make our minds feel overwhelmed and frazzled, leading to heightened stress. In addition to causing stress, the scroll hole can also decrease productivity. Think about it. If you're constantly checking your feed, how much actual work are you getting done? The answer is, not much. The lure of the infinite scroll can be so compelling that it takes precedence over tasks that should be getting our attention. Our productivity takes a hit, and that can lead to feelings of guilt and frustration. But the effects of the scroll hole aren't just immediate. They can also be long-term. One of the most significant of these is a decrease in our ability to focus. Our attention spans are not infinite, and the constant switching between posts, videos, and images can train our brains to have a shorter attention span. This can affect our ability to concentrate on tasks that require prolonged focus, impacting not just our work but also our personal lives. Perhaps most worryingly, the scroll hole can contribute to mental health issues like anxiety and depression. The endless comparison with others, the fear of missing out, the constant bombardment of negative news, all these factors can lead to feelings of anxiety and depression. It's a vicious cycle. The more we scroll, the worse we feel, yet the worse we feel, the more we're drawn to the seeming comfort of the scroll hole. The psychological impact of endless browsing is significant and can lead to a range of mental health issues. Let's remember that while the internet and social media can be powerful tools, they can also be traps if not used mindfully. The key is to find balance and not let the scroll hole consume us. So, how can we break free from the scroll and its harmful effects? Well, it's not about completely abandoning social media, but rather using it in a healthier, more balanced manner. One practical step is setting time limits on your social media use. Most platforms today offer features that allow you to track and control your usage. Another effective strategy is turning off unnecessary notifications. Yes, it's fun to stay connected, but constant interruptions can be mentally exhausting. Choose to engage when you want to, not when an app tells you to. Finally, practice mindfulness. Be fully present in the moment, whether you're scrolling or doing something else. Ask yourself, is this adding value to my life? If the answer is no, maybe it's time to put down the phone. Remember, breaking free from the scroll requires conscious effort and deliberate changes to our digital habits. It's a journey, but one that's well worth embarking on. In today's digital age, the effects of endless browsing are more relevant than ever. We've taken a deep dive into the world of the infinite scroll, a seemingly harmless feature that's become a staple of our daily lives. Yet this feature holds a powerful grip over us, luring us into a never-ending cycle of content consumption, often at the expense of our mental well-being. The psychological impact of this behavior is profound. It's akin to a slot machine in our pockets, constantly rewarding our brains with dopamine hits, even as it depletes our mental energy, focus, and potentially exacerbates feelings of anxiety and depression. But it's not all doom and gloom. Recognizing the problem is the first step to recovery. By setting boundaries, taking digital detoxes, and being mindful of our online habits, we can mitigate these effects. By understanding the impact of endless browsing, we can take steps to protect our minds and reclaim our time. Subscribe for more videos on this topic and like and comment if you want to see more.